Her dad pulled me aside. "You need to pay off her 30 cow student loans before the wedding as a gift or no blessing." I replied, "I understand." Then I called the wedding planner and canceled the reception, telling them to bill the father of the bride as per the contract clause I added. His face when he got the $20,000 cancellation fee. Look, I'm not a petty person by nature, but some people test you in ways that require a surgical strike of pettiness, so precise, so beautiful, that it becomes art. My fiancée Rachel's dad, Dennis, was one of those people. Let me paint you a picture of Dennis. Imagine a guy who introduces himself as Dennis Mitchell, Regional VP of Sales at his daughter's birthday party, who wears a Bluetooth earpiece to family dinners in case the Singapore office calls, who once told me his golf handicap before telling me his daughter's middle name. That's Dennis. Rachel and I had been dating for 3 years. She's a pediatric nurse, smart, funny, puts up with exactly zero nonsense from anyone except her dad because, family guilt and all that. I'm a software engineer, make decent money, not Silicon Valley stupid money, but comfortable. Enough that when I proposed, I got her the ring she actually wanted instead of the one I could afford. The proposal was perfect. Sunset hike, her favorite trail. I even convinced her dog to wear a little "Will you marry my dad" bandana. She cried, I cried. The dog ate the bandana. Beautiful moment. Then we had to tell her parents. Her mom, Linda, absolute saint, hugged me, cried happy tears, immediately started talking about flower arrangements even though we hadn't set a date. Dennis extended his hand for a shake, gripped way too hard and said, "Well, I hope you know what you're getting into. She's expensive." Rachel laughed it off. I should have seen the red flag. Red flags were this man's whole aesthetic. Wedding planning started. We wanted something simple. 80 guests, nice venue, good food, open bar, nothing crazy. Budget was around $35,000, which we were splitting 50-50. My half, her half, very modern, very equal. Then Dennis got involved. First, he insisted on reviewing our vendor contracts. "I negotiate deals for a living," he said. "You need my expertise." I didn't need his expertise. I needed him to not forward me LinkedIn articles about wedding planning synergies. But Rachel asked me to humor him, so I sent him the contracts. He sent back a 47-point PowerPoint presentation on how we were leaving money on the table. Not a Word document, not an email, a PowerPoint with slide transitions and a title slide that said, "Mitchell, my last name wedding, a cost-benefit analysis." There were pie charts, multiple pie charts. One was labeled unnecessary expenses, and it was literally the entire pie. The DJ contract? You're overpaying for the premium package. They're just playing Spotify. I have a nephew with an iPhone and a Bluetooth speaker. Free. The photographer? Why do you need engagement photos and wedding photos? Just use the engagement ones twice. Photoshop is a thing. Also, everyone has cameras on their phones now. I can create a shared Google Drive folder. The catering, an open bar is fiscally irresponsible. Cash bar builds character. Besides, if people want to drink, they can pre-game in the parking lot like adults. He actually said, pre-game in the parking lot. At a wedding that his daughter was having, I nodded along, ignored most of it, kept planning. 3 months before the wedding, Rachel and I met her parents for dinner. Fancy steakhouse. Dennis's choice, naturally. We're talking centerpieces when Dennis sets down his whiskey, Macallan 18, he announced the year to the waiter, and looks at me. "Can I speak to you privately? Man to man?" Oh no. Rachel gave me a look that said, "Please don't let him talk you into inviting his entire sales team." We stepped outside. Cool October evening. Dennis lit a cigar. I don't smoke, but he didn't offer anyway. "You love my daughter?" he asked. "Very much. You want to make her happy?" "That's the plan." Good. Good. He puffed his cigar. "Then we need to discuss her student loans." I blinked. Her what? Her student loans. She's got about $30,000 left. Nursing school wasn't cheap. "Okay. You're gonna pay them off before the wedding as a gift." I actually laughed. Thought he was joking. "That's funny." His face didn't change. "I'm not joking. You want to marry her, you need to bring something to the table. Prove you're serious. Prove you can provide." "Dennis, it's traditional. The groom's family contributes financially." "Your parents aren't contributing anything, are they?" "We didn't ask them to. We're paying for our own." "Exactly. So this is how you contribute. $30,000. Clear her debt, start the marriage fresh. My brain was doing math. Our wedding budget was 35 calories split between us. He wanted me to drop an additional 30 cows on her student loans? That's not how any of this works. That's not really traditional, I said slowly. It is in families that value fiscal responsibility. I'm not paying off her student loans. He took a long drag of his cigar. Then I can't give you my blessing. You already gave me your blessing. 4 months ago, at the proposal celebration dinner, you toasted us. That was preliminary, conditional. This is the final requirement. I stared at him. This man was serious, completely serious. Let me get this straight, I said. You want me to pay $30,000 to clear your daughter's student debt, or you won't give your blessing for a wedding that's already planned and paid for? Correct. And you think this is reasonable? I think it's necessary. Rachel deserves a husband who can shoulder financial burdens. If you can't handle $30,000 now, how will you handle a mortgage, kids' college funds, life insurance? By budgeting like a normal person, not by liquidating assets to appease my father-in-law's weird power trip? His jaw tightened. This isn't a power trip. This is a father protecting his daughter. From what? Student loan interest rates? From a man who isn't serious about commitment. I took a breath, counted to 5, didn't help. I understand, I said. Good. I'm glad I'll think about it. I went back inside. Rachel asked if everything was okay. I said fine, just wedding stuff. She bought it. I didn't sleep that night. Next morning I called my lawyer. Yes, I have a lawyer. Cousin who does contract law. We went to law school together. Well, he went to law school. I visited him there once and we got drunk. Close enough. Hey Marcus, hypothetical question. If someone agrees to pay for part of a wedding, can they back out? Depends on the contract. Why? I explained the situation. Dennis, the demand, the blessing hostage situation. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then, oh, we're gonna have some fun with this. Here's the thing about wedding contracts. Most people don't read them. They sign, they pay deposits, they move on. I read everything. Occupational hazard of being a software engineer. I've debugged enough code to know that details matter. Our venue contract had a standard cancellation clause. 90+ days out, you lose your deposit. 60 to 89 days, you lose 50%. 30 to 59 days, you lose 75%. Less than 30 days, you pay the full balance. But there was another clause, a fun one I'd specifically requested when we booked. Section 8.4. In the event of cancellation, all outstanding balances and fees shall be billed to the party listed as financial guarantor in Section 2.3. Section 2.3. When we'd filled out the contract, had a line, financial guarantor if different from contracting party. I'd written Dennis Mitchell, father of the bride. Why? Because Dennis had insisted on being copied on all vendor emails. Oversight, he called it. And when the venue coordinator asked if anyone else should be listed as a point of contact, Rachel said, "Oh, my dad wants to be involved." So I involved him. Legally. The venue contract was in my and Rachel's names, but the financial guarantor? That was Dennis. At the time, it was just to annoy him with invoices. Petty? Yes. Prophetic? Very. Now, it was leverage. I called the wedding planner, sweet woman named Gloria who'd planned 300+ weddings and had seen everything. Gloria, hi, quick question about our contract. Of course, dear. What's up? If we needed to cancel the reception, not the wedding, just the reception, what would that look like? Pause. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. This is just a hypothetical. Well, you're 73 days out. Cancellation would incur a 50% fee on the remaining balance. You've paid $12,000 in deposits. Balance is $16,000, so you'd owe an additional $8,000 in cancellation fees, plus you'd forfeit the deposits. Total loss of $20,000. And who gets billed for that? I heard papers shuffling. Let me see. According to Section 8.4, the financial guarantor. That's Dennis Mitchell? Correct. Another pause. Longer this time. Are you doing what I think you're doing? That depends. What do you think I'm doing? Something either brilliant or catastrophic. Why not both? Gloria laughed. Actually laughed. Honey, I've been doing this for 30 years. I've seen grooms leave brides at the altar. I've seen brides sleep with the best man the night before. I once saw a mother-in-law release chickens during the ceremony. But I have never seen someone weaponize a contract clause against their future father-in-law. First time for everything. If you do this, I need you to know, I'm sending the invoice on a Friday afternoon, maximum damage. Gloria, you're a professional. I'm also petty. Cancellation confirmed? Not yet, I need to talk to Rachel first. That evening, I told Rachel everything. The conversation with Dennis, the demand, the ultimatum. She was quiet for a long time. Then, $30,000? Yep. To pay off my student loans? Yep. As a gift to prove you're serious? That's what he said. And if you don't, he won't give his blessing? Apparently his previous blessing was conditional. Rachel set down her wine glass, picked it back up, drank the whole thing, set it down again. I'm gonna kill him. Get in line. No, I'm serious. I'm gonna go over there right now and explain to him exactly how insane this is. Or, I said, we could do something more fun. I explained the contract clause, the financial guarantor, the cancellation fee. Rachel's eyes went wide, then wider. Then she started laughing. Not polite laughter, full, bent-over, tears-streaming laughter. You're gonna stick him with a $20,000 bill? Only if he doesn't back down. He won't back down. You know he won't. His ego's too big. I know. So you're really going to do this? Only with your permission. It's your wedding too. She thought for exactly 3 seconds. Do it. You sure? My dad has been a controlling nightmare my entire life. Do you know what he did when I got into nursing school? Told me I should have gone to medical school instead. When I bought my car, said I should have leased. When I got my first apartment, said I was overpaying for square footage. He's never once just been happy for me without adding some criticism disguised as advice. So that's a yes? That's a hell yes. But we need ground rules. I'm listening. 1. We still get married. This doesn't cancel the wedding, just the reception. Agreed. I love you, not the chicken dance. 2. We elope. Small ceremony. Just us, the officiant, and whoever we actually want there. Your mom? Obviously. My siblings. Your family. Our actual friends. Not my dad's golf buddies and his sales team. Deal. 3. We use the money we saved to take the honeymoon we actually want instead of the one my dad suggested. He suggested a honeymoon? Branson, Missouri, said it's got great entertainment value for the cost. I'm gonna throw up. Exactly, so we're thinking Greece? Italy? Somewhere he would never go because it's too touristy? I've always wanted to see Japan. Done. We'll eat sushi for 2 weeks straight and send him postcards. I kissed her. You're the best fiancé ever. I know. Now call Gloria back and light this candle. The next morning I sent Dennis an email. Subject: our conversation. Dennis, I've thought about your request regarding Rachel's student loans. After careful consideration and discussion with Rachel, I've decided I cannot meet your requirement of paying off $30,000 in debt before the wedding. However, I understand that your blessing is important to Rachel, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page moving forward. Looking forward to your thoughts. Best, my name professional, polite, vague enough to sound like I was backing down without actually committing to anything. He responded in 20 minutes. Subject: our conversation. I'm disappointed but not surprised. This confirms my concerns about your commitment level. As I stated, without this gesture, I cannot in good conscience give my blessing for this marriage. I suggest you reconsider your priorities. Dennis Mitchell, Regional VP of Sales, LinkedIn profile. His email signature was longer than his message. Of course it was. I forwarded it to Rachel with the subject line, "Permission to fire." She responded, "Weapons free." I called Gloria. It's time. Oh, this is exciting. Confirm cancellation of reception services effective immediately? Confirmed. And I'm billing Dennis Mitchell, financial guarantor, for the full cancellation fee of $20,000. That is correct. I'm giddy. This is unethical how giddy I am. Gloria, you're a consummate professional. I'm about to ruin this man's Friday afternoon. I'll send the invoice at 4:47 p.m., right when he thinks he's coasting into the weekend. You're an artist. I know. We hung up. I called the officiant. Small ceremony, still on the original date, just at a local park instead of the big venue. She was thrilled. Intimate weddings are my favorite anyway, she said. Then Rachel and I called her mom. Hi, Linda? Yeah, we need to talk about the wedding. There's been a change of plans. We explained everything. The demand, the contract, the cancellation. Linda was quiet for approximately 5 seconds. Then, Can I be there when he opens the invoice? Mom, what? Your father has been insufferable about this wedding. They're overspending. They should do it my way. I could have negotiated better rates. Meanwhile, he's the one who insisted on inviting 40 people we barely know. This is karma. So you're not mad? Mad? Honey, I'm proud. You found a man with a spine. That's rare in this family. Rachel started crying, happy tears this time. We invited Linda, Rachel's siblings, my family, and about 20 close friends to the new wedding. Told them to keep it quiet. We'd explain later. Friday, 4:47 p.m. I was in a meeting when my phone buzzed. Rachel texted, Gloria just sent me a screenshot of the invoice. It's beautiful. The invoice was indeed beautiful. Professional, itemized, clearly showing the cancellation fee breakdown, and at the bottom in bold, amount due, $20,000. 00, payable by Dennis Mitchell, financial guarantor. My phone rang at 5:03 p.m. Dennis? I let it ring, texted Rachel, he's calling. She responded, don't answer, let him simmer. He called 4 more times, left 2 voicemails. Both were just angry breathing. The second one had what sounded like him punching something, possibly his desk, possibly his car. I hope it was his car. Then the text started. 5:08 p.m. Call me now. This is unacceptable. I will not be extorted. This is illegal. My lawyer will be contacting you. Actually, my lawyer is on vacation. But when he gets back, you're going to regret this. Rachel and I were reading them out loud, cackling. It was better than Netflix. At 6:30 p.m., he showed up at our apartment. Rachel answered the door. I stayed in the kitchen, listening. What the hell is this? He was waving his phone. His face was red, not regular red, tomato red, fire engine red. Red like he'd just discovered his blood pressure medication was a placebo. What's what, Dad? This invoice, from the wedding venue, says I owe $20,000. Oh, that. Yeah, we canceled the reception. You can't just cancel. We can, actually. Already done. And bill me? You're the financial guarantor. Says so in the contract, section 8.4. I never agreed to that. You told us you wanted oversight. You insisted on being copied on all vendor communications. We added you to the contracts per your request. This is what oversight looks like. I walked into the living room, casual as possible. Hey Dennis, how's it going? His face was purple. Actual purple. You did this. Did what? This contract trick. I signed a standard venue contract. You insisted on being involved. We involved you. This is fraud. It's actually just contract law. You should read the fine print. I mean, you're the one who always says details matter in business, right? I'm not paying this. That's between you and Gloria. She's the wedding planner, great lady, very professional. I'm sure you two can work it out. I'll sue you. For what? Executing a contract you agreed to? Good luck. Rachel stepped forward. Dad, you had a choice. You could have just been happy for us, supported us, shown up and enjoyed the wedding like a normal father. Instead, you tried to extort my fiancé for $30,000. So yeah, we canceled the reception you were so concerned about. We're still getting married, just without the circus. Where? None of your business. Rachel, no, you don't get to make demands anymore. You either pay the invoice and deal with the consequences of your own greed, or you dispute it with Gloria and explain to a judge why you think your daughter's fiancé should pay her student loans as a wedding gift. Either way, I'm done. Dennis looked at me, at Rachel, back at me. You're both insane. We're both done with your bullshit, Rachel said. Now leave. He left. The wedding was 2 months later, small ceremony in a park, 25 people. Rachel wore a simple dress she bought off the rack for $300. I wore a suit I already owned. The officiant cried. Rachel's mom cried. I cried. The whole thing cost less than $2,000. It was perfect. Dennis didn't come. Linda did. She brought champagne and a card that said, "Congratulations on marrying up, sweetheart." It was addressed to me. We used the money we saved to book 3 weeks in Japan, stayed in tiny ryokans, ate street food, saw temples, didn't check our phones. Best part, we sent Dennis a postcard from Tokyo. It said, "Having a wonderful time. Wish you were here." Just kidding. Thanks for funding our honeymoon with your cancellation fee. The sushi is amazing. Rachel and my name. Linda later told us he threw the postcard in the trash, then fished it back out and kept it in his desk drawer. He looks at it sometimes when he's mad, she said. I think it reminds him what happens when he overplays his hand. When we got back, Linda told us Dennis had paid the invoice. He fought it for a week, then his lawyer told him he'd lose in court and pay even more in legal fees. He wrote the check, but he's not speaking to you. How will we cope? Rachel said. We bought a house 6 months later. Didn't tell Dennis. He found out through Facebook. Sent a message. You should have consulted me on the mortgage rate. Rachel blocked him. 2 years later, Rachel got pregnant. We told Linda first. She cried happy tears, immediately started planning the baby shower. We told Dennis last. Not because we're cruel, but because we genuinely forgot. His response: make sure you set up a 529 college fund. Education is expensive. Rachel responded, thanks for the advice. We'll be sure to make you the financial guarantor. He didn't reply. The baby was born in March. Beautiful, healthy, perfect. Dennis sent a card with a $50 savings bond. The card said, for her future education expenses, plan ahead. Rachel framed it with the caption, irony. We still laugh about the wedding, about Dennis's face when he realized what happened, about Gloria's perfectly timed invoice. Best $20,000 Dennis ever spent. He paid for a wedding reception we didn't want and learned a valuable lesson about contract law. As for the student loans, Rachel's paying them off herself. $400 a month, on schedule, with pride. Because that's what adults do. They handle their own debts, plan their own weddings, and don't let controlling parents dictate their lives. And sometimes, just sometimes, they weaponize Section 8.4 of a venue contract to teach someone a lesson about power trips. Best wedding gift I ever gave myself.